Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining us for another episode of FPL Fix. Game Week 11 feels like a lifetime ago now, but it will be remembered as the week where two FPL favourites missed a penalty in Haaland and Semenyo, and that played its part in it being the lowest average score of any game week so far this season. My name's James, and with me as usual to break it all down is Patrick.
Hi everyone, in this episode we'll be covering the most transferred players, the best teams and the players to target, before we finish off with our team reveals ahead of Game Week 12.
Yeah, but before we start looking ahead, let's have a very quick recap on how our teams did in Game Week 11, and I'll start things off. I had returns from Munoz, Saka, Haaland and Walter, which meant that I just beat the average and picked up a tiny green arrow. The pain this week was mostly from missed chances, Semenyo and Haaland missing their penalties, and Calafiori, Mateta and Sarr all missing big chances that would have been assisted by my players as well. How did your team do, Patrick?
I had another really rough game week to be honest. The only returns came from Saka and Haaland, with every other player being a letdown. Carl Walker-Peters getting to the ball a millisecond before Bowen was the worst part of the weekend for me, and his apology tweet for stealing Bowen's goal didn't bring the points back, so I don't accept it. Enzo did another week of point dodging, and unfortunately most of my team copied him. Okay, let's put Game Week 11 behind us and look ahead to Game Week 12, and we'll start off with the most transferred players. Looking at the players being sold first, and Kudos is top of the list with over 400,000 transfers out already. He's not featured in the last two games because of injury, and owners have lost patience.
Walter next. He's been sold by over 200,000 managers already, but I think he's worth holding on to. His minutes are nailed, and after the Man City game, he should get plenty of chances again as the focal point for Newcastle. Gabriel is third on the list, which is no surprise given his injury, and reports that he should be out of action for at least a month.
Gyökeres is next, with what will be over 200,000 transfers out by the time you're seeing this. We haven't had any encouraging news from the club that he will be fit for the next game, so it makes sense to see him being sold. Semenyo is last on the list. We're still not sure if there's a real injury doubt, or if it was all a ploy to leave international duty early for his proposal. But if he is fit, he should be back amongst the points for Bournemouth's upcoming fixtures.
Now looking at the players being bought, and Mbeumo is top of the list again. He's the most exciting Man United player at the moment, and we expect at least a few more attacking returns from him over the next 4 to 5 weeks before he heads off to AFCON. He's accumulated 6 big chances in his last 4 game weeks, which is a long way clear of any of his teammates.
Two strikers next in Thiago and Mateta, and they both look like good options. Apart from playing Arsenal in Game Week 14, Thiago has some great fixtures. He's in red hot form and looks more comfortable each week. I think he's a great player to buy, and I'm tempted to bring him in this week. Mateta is another great option. We both have him in our teams, and with the lovely Palace fixtures coming up, he's a great pick.
Two midfield options to finish off the list in Doku and Rice, and I'm not keen on either of them for right now, to be honest. Doku is electric when he plays, but there's always a minute's risk when Pep's the manager, and they have so many options at City. Declan Rice has been amazing this season, but I don't love Arsenal's upcoming fixtures, and I think the set piece assists might suffer with Gabriel off the pitch. Okay, well now we've seen who the most popular transfers are, let's see if any of them are actually worth considering for your teams.
On screen we can see the teams and players to target for the next few weeks, starting with the teams and Liverpool moving to pole position with some great fixtures on the horizon. The two teams from Manchester are next, with City second and United third, and Palace is last on the short list.
Okay, now looking at the players to target, and we'll start in goal. Donnarumma is top for a couple of reasons. City have the best defensive record from the teams at the top of the screen, with only 8 goals conceded so far, but the other reason is because it's really tricky to nail a Man City defender with the options they have, along with the fixture congestion coming up, so I think it might be best to go with the keeper, who you can at least be confident with that he'll start each game. The next best keeper is Henderson. Palace have only conceded 1 goal more than City this season, but I do think there are 3 better Palace assets, so I wouldn't be moving for Henderson personally. Donnarumma is just the clear standout.
Moving into defence, and Van Dijk is top. His minutes are nailed, and he's great for defensive contribution, and he still carries an attacking threat from set pieces. With the favourable turn in Liverpool fixtures, I think he will do really well, and he's the best Gabriel replacement out there in my opinion. Next up is the Palace defence, and Munoz is still the best pick. There are other options like Richards and Lacroix who have more defensive contribution, but Munoz is so attacking and looks like he could get a goal or an assist every time he steps on a pitch. The first spot is more difficult, but Nico O'Reilly just takes it off teammate Matheus Nunes. I do think they're both a risk of rotation in any game, which is obviously a worry, but the form and explosiveness of O'Reilly makes him a great option if you fancy a punt on his minutes.
Now looking at the midfield options, and Mbeumo is top for us this week. He's playing really high up the pitch for Man United, and he's showing the qualities we know he has and we saw from him at Brentford. There's still 4 or 5 games that he'll play before he goes to AFCON, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of returns in that time. Next up is Ismail Assar. He's been unlucky in the Premier League, but absolutely flying in other competitions. It's only a matter of time before he lands a big score in the league. Last on this list is a man going firmly under the radar at less than 5% ownership. We've all been saying how this is the season of the CDMs, and the Liverpool CDM Gravenberch could be one of the best assets for this fixture run. He's Liverpool's second highest scorer with just 2 points less than Salah at nearly 9 million cheaper. I'm thinking about bringing him in the next few weeks, and he looks like great value.
In the strikers category, Haaland is clear the top. He's in lethal form for club and country, as he's shown with 4 goals in 2 games for Norway over the international break. And if you haven't got him by now, then I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Next best is Mateta. Similar to Sarr, he's due a haul in the Premier League. He's doing okay, but with the chances he's getting, we should see more from him over the coming weeks, with Palace's fixtures. Last of the strikers is João Pedro. He's frustrated owners for a while, but he's now scored in back-to-back games and looking sharp again. With Burnley next, and Leeds not far away, he could be worth bringing in. Now, we've seen who to target, let's take a look at our team reveals for Game Week 12. James, why don't you start things off?
I'm switching things up and playing 4-4-2 this week. I've got double Bournemouth at the back with Petrovic in goal and Truffert in the defence. I haven't made the transfer yet, but I'm definitely moving Gabriel to Van Dijk like it shows on screen. Munoz is next, and with his attacking output he could have a field day against Wolves. And last up is Calafiori, who is flagged but I'm hoping is fit, so I at least have some part of the Arsenal defence this week. In midfield, I'm starting Semenyo. If he plays, he should do great at home to West Ham, and if not, then hopefully Waltemada can get something against City off the bench. Saka's my vice-captain, and he plays in the North London derby for his last week in my team. Then Sarr away to Wolves, and Caicedo with a good fixture away to Burnley. Up front it's Haaland, who's my captain. His form is insane at the moment, and I think he has the highest ceiling in my team. And last up is Mateta to complete the Palace triple up, and against Wolves this week, he should get at least a few chances. How's your team looking?
In goal, I'm starting Raya at home to Spurs. It's a tough match, but he might get a few save points, and it's nice to have a piece of the Arsenal defence. My back three are Guehi, Anderson and Diouf. The Palace captain is showing up as flagged, but I'm optimistic that he'll start based on the comments we've seen so far. In midfield, I've got Semenyo, Saka, Enzo and Sarr. Saka is the main threat. Spurs at home is a high profile fixture and he's always involved in Arsenal's attack. Semenyo and Sarr both have good chances to return given their form this season. And Enzo away to Burnley is a great option. I'm just hoping he's good to go after his rest. Up front I've gone with Bowen, Mateta and Haaland. Bowen might be swapped with Thiago before the deadline though, so the team isn't fully locked yet. Mateta is nailed though. He should be great over the next few fixtures, and Haaland is my captain again. Newcastle away is tough, but he's been so prolific at the moment I can't see any defence stopping him.
And that just about wraps up our Game Week 12 preview. Hopefully that's given you a clearer picture of what transfers are actually worth it and which ones you might want to avoid.
Yeah, and as always let us know down in the comment section what moves you're making this week and who's your Gabriel replacement if you're an owner.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop it a like, it really helps the channel out. And if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our latest content.
Make sure to follow us on X at Weekend Fix for last minute tips and updates.
Thanks for watching, good luck this game week, and we'll see you next time.